Muharram is the first month of the Islamic calendar. An important and tragic event took place on the 10th of Muharram that shook the Muslim world. It was the murder of Imam Hussain, his family members and his close friends by the army of Yazid. Hussain was one of the two grandsons of the Holy Prophet Muhammad and the younger of the two sons of Hazrat Fatima, the daughter of the Holy Prophet. There were many companions of Imam Hussain that sacrificed their lives on the day of Ashura. Many of them are not usually mentioned by their names in speeches. Many of them are not usually mentioned, although their sacrifices were no less important. The purpose of this presentation is to pay tribute and mention them by their names. It is also important to note that traditionally the number of martyrs in Karbala is stated to be 72. However, according to several accounts, there were more than 100 martyrs. Start of the Battle of Karbala. Umar ibn Sa'ad started the battle by first shooting an arrow towards the supporters of Imam Hussain a.s. Thereafter, his soldiers showered them with hundreds of arrows. This resulted in the death of many companions.
We have a story about Imam Hussain by Sister Azra Hassan Ali.
Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Assalamu ala al-Hussain wa ala Ali ibn al-Hussain wa ala awlad al-Hussain wa ala ashab. Assalamu alaikum everyone.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yesterday we heard the story of baby Ali Asghar. Today we will talk about Imam Hussain a.s. The morning of Ashura dawned. Imam Hussein's beloved son Ali Akbar gave adhan for Fajr prayers, and then Imam Hussain led the Salah with his family and friends in rows behind him, uniting together in worship of Allah. It was still early in the morning and the battle had not yet started. So Imam Hussain mounted a camel and went over to see the army of Yazid. He said, "Do you know who I am? Am I not the grandson of your Prophet? Am I not the son of Ali? Is not Hamza the uncle of my father? Why do you want to shed my blood? Have I hurt any of you? Have I taken any of your money? Have I injured or killed any of you?" When they heard this, some of the soldiers said, "We don't know anything about you. All we want from you is allegiance to Yazid. You must support Yazid." Imam Hussain replied, "No, by Allah, I will not give you my hand in allegiance. I will never support Yazid like a humiliated person, nor will I run away like a slave." Imam Hussain had many companions who supported him and stuck by his side throughout all the events of Karbala. One of them was Zuhair ibn Qayn. Zuhair was also an elder of Kufa. So he came to talk to the army of Yazid, because most of the officers in the army also came from Kufa, so he thought that they might listen to him because they were from the same town. Zuhair started talking to Yazid's army, but the soldiers began to shout at him rudely and made him stop talking because they did not want to hear what he had to say. Umar Sa'ad shot the first arrow, asking his men to bear witness that he was the first to start the battle. He was proud that he was the one to have started fighting against Imam Hussain, fighting the truth. Imam then got ready for battle. He lined up his small army to face the enemy in their thousands. Imam kept Zuhair in charge of the right wing, Habib in charge of the left, and he and the men of his household took charge of the middle section. There was a fierce battle which lasted an hour. The army of Yazid had launched a general attack. When Yazid's army went back to their camp and the dust had settled, they noticed that nearly 50 companions of Imam had been martyred. After a while the battle continued, and soon it was midday and time for Dhuhr Salah. But because Imam Hussain and his caravan were in danger, they prayed Salatul Khawf. Zuhair and Sa'id bin Abdullah stood in front of Imam Hussain to protect him while he prayed. But Yazid's army did not stop to pray Salah. They carried on firing arrows at Imam Hussain. Zuhair and Sa'id were martyred, protected Imam during Salah. They stood as shields, moving from side to side, not to dodge the arrows, but to receive them on their bodies to protect those that were praying. When Salah was over, about 23 of Imam Hussein's soldiers were seriously wounded. After Salah, one by one of Imam Hussein's companions and family members went to the battlefield, but they did not come back. Eventually, Imam Hussain stood all alone on the plains of Karbala, with bodies all around him. He looked around him and called out, "Hal min nasirin yansurana? Is there any helper to help us?" And the only response he got was from baby Ali Asghar, who threw himself out of his cradle. Imam picked up Ali Asghar in his arms, took him to the battlefield, but instead of giving him water, the soldiers killed him. And now Imam Hussain was all alone. The soldiers directed their arrows, spears and stones at him. There was no place on his body that was not wounded. But Imam carried on fighting as bravely as he could. Imam fell off his horse and went into sajda. Abdullah, the young son of Imam Hassan, ran towards his uncle to try and help him, but his hand was severed and he too was martyred. Imam's final words were, "O Allah, I left the world altogether for your love. I orphaned my children so that I could see you. Even if I was cut up into pieces in the way of your love, my heart would not feel love and worship towards anyone but you. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Assalamu ala Al Hussain wa ala Ali ibn Al Hussain wa ala awlad Al Hussain wa ala ashab Al Hussain."
Now it's time to listen to poetry by Sister Malek Mehdi.
This poem is about Hazrat Imam Hussain a.s. O you who believes, O you who loves, O you who gives, all for the sake of Islam, the final member of Ahlul Bayt who gave more than they could, but you, O Hussain, it cost you your life. The Prophet, dear Muhammad, loved you more than himself. He used to say, "I'm Hussain, and he is myself." He used to kiss all your handsome head, whom shimmer paraded, to prove you were dead. How did this happen? We all gasp and cry. Who would do this? Simply why? You were the Imam after the death of Hassan, when Yazid started collecting fans. Before you knew, he crowned himself caliph. He asked for your loyalty, you had to object. You collected your family and went to Mecca, went to the Kaaba in faith, and did your dua. Thereafter, to Kufa you left too. They said they'd help, but turned against you. You sent your cousin, Muslim bin Aqil, to help them see reason, for them a reason to kill. You ached with anguish and looked to the skies. "Is there no one to give me victory?" you cried. After the tragedy of your cousin's death, you travelled to Karbala, where you'd have your last breath. They were caught up by Shimmer, who blocked the close stream. To your family, water was a great dream. Your kin went to fight, one by one. They killed many until their life was done. Last it was you and all the women. You bravely put on your armour. Cries were heard from children. You fought fantastically until the arrows came, showered you down. You suffered unbearable pain. Unfortunately after, Shim wrestled you down. He stabbed you repeatedly an action so low. After your death, your soul travelled to paradise. Your body, however, paid the price. Should be ripped off your head and placed upon a stick. There never was an action so very sick. Your family wept and moaned in devastation. That terrible tale has been heard by all nations. Your soul still cries above, giving an oath that it will have justice, revenge, or both.
This recitation shows Bibi Zainab a.s. talking to her brother Imam Hussain a.s. about all the sufferings they went through. Oh, my brother, your sister is poor. Oh, my brother, there seems no cure. Oh, my brother, your sister is poor. Oh, my brother, there seems no cure. Remember the times you played with Sakina, gave her those earrings back in Medina. Remember the times you played with Sakina, gave her those earrings back in Medina. They ripped them off her ears are sore. Oh, my brother, your sister is poor. Oh, my brother, your sister is poor. Oh, my brother, there seems no cure. Remember the time she slept on your chest, bonded together with such high zest. Remember the time she slept on your chest, bonded together with such high zest. Crying to sleep, she just lies on the floor. Oh, my brother, your sister is poor. Oh, my brother, your sister is poor. Oh, my brother, there seems no cure. Remember the times you talked about pain. Look at your Abid all dressed in chains. Remember the times you talked about pain. Look at your Abid all dressed in chains. Those heavy shackles just tear him even more. Oh, my brother, your sister is poor. Oh, my brother, your sister is poor. Oh, my brother, there seems no cure. Remember the times back in Medina, happily spent with Sakina. Remember the times back in Medina, happily spent with Sakina. What should I do, God? She is no more. Oh, my at morning, evening, and at night's rest. I want to see you just like I did before. Oh, my brother, there seems no cure. Oh, my brother, your sister is poor. Oh, my brother, there seems no cure. The guardian of the veil of Abbas went out just to fetch water. He has lost his arms and was killed. What has happened to my house? Yesterday it was so full. Now there's only emptiness. Went for battle and fell. His body was trampled upon. What has happened to my house? Yesterday it was so full. Now there's only emptiness. My prophet Imam Hussain, for whom I sacrificed my son, I saw shivers slaughter his. What has happened to my house? Yesterday it was so full. Now there's only emptiness. Imam Al-Hussain, who was ill in Karbala, he saw his father's head on a spear. What has happened to my house? Yesterday it was so full. Now there's only emptiness. Zainab has said, oh people, what has happened to my house? Yesterday it was so full. Now there's only emptiness. We were taken as prisoners to Kufa and the court of Sham. We didn't even have our veil. What has happened to my house? Yesterday it was so full. Now there's only emptiness. Oh, Hussain, your daughter couldn't sleep without you. She has died and sleeps in Sham. What has happened to my house? Zainab has said, oh people, what has happened to my house? Yesterday it was so full. Now there's only emptiness. You went to the battle